back to my brand new backup channel, Russ and James. Peace, blessings, and love, and the elders out.
Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Megan Roosevelt, your registered dietitian and I'm so excited to partner with Nuts.com for this video series. Today we're talking all about healthy snacking. I love to snack, I'm sure you love to snack, and if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to share how to make some delicious, ready energy bars. But before we get to that, I'm going to share with you 3 tips to keep in mind when shopping for snacks. For packaged items, always read the ingredient lists first.
All right, Loretta.
Such as artificial sweeteners. Number 2, focus on quality over quantity. For example, a healthy snack would be an apple and almond.
All right, let me turn this off.
Processed energy bar. Even though almonds may be higher in calories, they're also more nutrient-packed. So overall, this is going to be better for you. Number 3, consume as many real.
wow, can't get on. Ooh, I can't get on. All right, everybody, I'm here. Just having a little technical difficulties, but I'm here.
Good evening, family. I'm delayed.
All right, everybody, I'm here. Just having a little technical difficulties, but I'm here. All right, everybody, I'm here. Just having a little technical difficulties, but I'm here. All right, everybody, I'm here. Just having a little technical difficulties, but I'm here. All right, everybody, I'm here. Just having a little technical difficulties, but I'm here. Okay. Okay, y'all. I'm glad to see you all here. I don't know what the weather is like in your neck of the woods, but in New Jersey, it is pouring down rain out here. And my internet is acting a little flaky, but that's okay. We will get through this. How are you all doing out here today? I hope you're all doing well. You know, I saw, recently saw a video of Trump and Melania down in Texas serving food to people. You know, they're doing the same thing you would see Obama and Michelle do. Well, they were down there trying to make an attempt to serve food. And I just saw it as, you know, Trump was taking pictures with everybody. It seemed like, hi, CJ. It seemed like it was a photo op, if nothing else. A good one for him. I don't quite see how anybody else benefited in that particular. No, in fact, it's supposed to be rainy all weekend, today and tomorrow. But, you know, it's only 65 degrees here in New Jersey. That's it. So it's been, on top of the rain, it's been a pretty cool day. Yeah, stilettos and a baseball cap. I don't know. I'm going to see what, I'm going to go over a few things that I had pulled up. Let me see if I can share my screen. All right. Let me know if you can see my screen. Yeah, I heard about Battle X. I heard about Irma coming. And they said this storm is gaining so much power that they may have to put it in as a Category 6. I'm like, are you kidding me? And it's supposed to hug the East Coast. And if that is indeed the truth, then we'll be impacted by it. But that's next week. So those of you that are on the East Coast, we're gonna have to watch this thing very closely and prepare. It could be several states heavily impacted by this thing. Yeah, Category 6 SMAC. Yes. They said that they've already clocked speeds of over 150 miles an hour in this particular hurricane, Irma, that's coming. Yeah, well, it's raining here, but it's not hot. It's a very cool day for us, my greatness. Very cool. And we have had a very mild week here in New Jersey. We've been pretty much in the 80s and 70s all week. And today, like I said, it went only up to 65 degrees all day. Yeah, you're in North Carolina, I'm in New Jersey. Yeah, you know, everybody on the East Coast is going to have to make some type of plan. Yeah, 195, Elena 82, really? I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of people do feel, Battle X, that it is HARP. A lot of people feel that way. It's definitely not natural, you know, especially a hurricane to be that speed. You know, it's very strange. To me, it's even strange that Harvey hit Texas as a Category 4. Yeah, I'm not going to take any chances either. I'm sorry about that. Watch a move. I see what you wrote, and you're right. I'm not taking no chances either, because it's better safe than sorry. Even if you think we're not going to get anything but the wind and rain from it, even that can be treacherous if it's up to 191 miles an hour. You know, the wind speed is clocked at that. I mean, 191 miles an hour. It's not going to be too many things standing if that thing makes landfall. Yeah, I did see the second one out there too. But from what I see, that one's not quite as strong as Irma, the second one. And last time I was looking, it was a tropical depression. I don't know if it got bumped up to a hurricane yet. Never know. Well, we already knew these televangelists are all shady. Naja Johnson, we already knew that. It didn't even take a hurricane to, for me to know that Joel Osteen was a crook. But there are people still defending him. And unfortunately, some of those people defending Joel Osteen are Black. So that just goes to show you how far gone many of our people are these days. Hi, Just Glowing. Yeah, you know what? It seems like you're right about that, Mike. CJ, you know what? It seems like right after the eclipse, we done already went through a season change here in New Jersey. We went from having summer weather to fall weather. It's almost like the season changed overnight. We have not had a real hot day from that point on, it seems like. I will look to see if I got your email, Just Glowing. I believe I did. I right now I'm working on a few credit repairs, and I had a new one come in this morning. So I'm also working on that. In fact, that's what I'm going to be working on tonight so that I can get everything out tomorrow. I realize, it's the holiday weekend, but I can still get everything out in the mail. But I will start getting caught up on things once I'm done working on the credit repair. And just a reminder, those of you that want to get yours worked on, I'll take care of it for you. All you have to do is reach out to me when you get your credit report, and then I can get started on it right away. Yeah, it's like the eclipse. You know what? A lot of people said after the eclipse, they believed we were going to move to a higher consciousness, which means more people were going to wake up. Okay, Brian B., I'll be on the lookout for yours once you're ready. It said that we would be at a higher consciousness, which means it should be a lot more people waking up. Yes, and Cortez Miller, virtually anything can be removed. I know they will tell you it can't be removed. Oh, you can't get that off. Oh, you can't get that judgment off, that lien, that student loan. All of that stuff can come off. Sometimes you just got to know how to fight them and come at them when you send out the request for them to remove it. That's all. But yeah, a lot of people felt that, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I noticed everything, the temperature has not really been up since the eclipse here in New Jersey. In fact, we had another day during the week that was in the 60s. No, we don't get mixed up with right wing and left wing and all that stuff. We're the Israelites. We don't bother with that stuff. It means absolutely nothing. Yes, if you want me to do your credit repair, you need to send me all 3 reports from each one of the credit bureau, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. I will need all of them. because sometimes your creditors don't report to all three. They may report to one, or they may report to two, exclude one. So I would have to see all three reports. Sometimes they don't all match. I wouldn't be surprised. I tell you what, if Brian B., I wouldn't be surprised, because it is a lot cooler in New Jersey, even from a week ago. Like I said, it was almost like after the eclipse, we went right into fall. And you're welcome, SMAC. And, and I watched a few videos of people like in their 40s, and they were like, I'm wide awake now. I'm wide awake. It's just amazing. But, we're not going to all wake up at the same time. That's one thing, about the Most High. He's amazing. When you reach that point where he's ready to wake you up, you will wake up. Make no mistake about it. Yeah, it really is. It really is, brother. It is hanging by a thread, and it ain't going to be hanging by that thread too much longer. Lady of Soul 502, no, she does not have that faith, but that's one thing about the Most High. He gives us free will. We can freely come to him. It's one of those things, we take it or leave it. And unfortunately, many people are not going to embrace him like we do. That's just the way it is. We can only do so much to open somebody's eyes. The rest is up to them. If it's her choice not to wake up and see the truth, then there's nothing we can do about that. We got to understand the Most High is not even going to wake up all of our family members. Okay. Many of them aren't going to ever wake up. People outside of our family, no, they're probably not going to wake up either. Remember, it's only going to be a remnant of us that makes it. It's not going to be everybody. Yeah, a lot of people are, but you have to look at it this way. Only the strong is going to overcome the oppression and get to know those ties. Only the strong will. But I can't. Today, we have to be careful about who we support, and especially supporting non-believers. That's just not a wise thing to do. And not only that, I've watched quite a few videos of not just Cynthia G, but even make mockery of the Most High, or they'll laugh at Hebrews and call you silly and stupid. I've heard those videos as well. She's not alone in doing those kind of things, but I did hear about the last thing she said. She told the people that were Hebrew to get off her live stream. This was not the Hebrew Israelite channel. So that's fine. She can say those kind of things. She has the right to say it. It's what do you do from that point on? That's what you have to ask yourself. But you have to ask yourself, even if you believe, do you believe that? Because believing in the Most High, you have to embrace, his people, and you have to believe that's the only living God is the Hebrew God. There is no other living God. I wish a lot of people well, but like I said, it's not very much we can do. Most High gives us all an opportunity to get to know him. Maybe one day she will wake up. You never know. But I still don't wish anything bad on her, and I wish her well, But in my opinion, it's just more important for me to be around other Hebrews, especially in these last days. That's true. Elena, I'm 82. Very true. Now, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with Harvey, and how I was watching some of the videos, how they're passing Black people by and not rescuing them. But if you remember, this is the same thing that happened during Katrina. It happened the same way in New Orleans. They were rescuing and going right past the Black people. And I've also heard the stories of how they broke those levees on purpose just to keep the white areas dry. So they sacrificed the Black areas with the water. Because when they went across that bridge in New Orleans, that bridge was dry on the other side. And that's when the militias and the police came out on the bridge and killed the Black people that were out there, that were only trying to get to dry ground. They were trying to get away from the flood. Right, CJ, we only kill, we only rescue. And remember, the helicopters were going right past. They had a lot of helicopter rescues in New Orleans during Katrina. And those helicopters flew right past the Black people and went straight for the white people and got them. So this is nothing new. We have seen this before. Yeah, a lot of people said they heard that sound, Earth Angel AI. A lot of people heard the blast, and they said it was definitely an explosion. No, they're not going to show the fact that they're not rescuing Black people. If the people there on the ground and the ones that are going through it don't tell us, we really don't know at all, But we're now hearing the stories of Black people calling 911, and the white voice on the other end of the phone is telling them to call Jesus. Or hi Cap, and or they're using racial slurs as they pass the Black people by in those boats. I wish some of our people would go out there and turn them damn boats over on their asses. That would serve them right. When they go on past talking racial slurs, go out there and turn that bitch over. No, they never will. And you know what? And the sad part is Whenever, if you notice, and I want you all to remember this, if you notice, whenever we go through a crisis, your Caucasoid always turn to racism. They always turn to that first over everything. They throw race into everything. But then when you point it out, they get mad and try to call you the racist. They threw racism in there when it came down to rescuing people in Louisiana. And you see the same thing being repeated in Texas. They are the ones that throw racism in there. They do it every single time when there's a crisis. This is all the more reason why we got to separate and stop trying to rely on people that inherently hate us. Plain and simple. You know, when the next disaster strike, Black people are going to have to come together with a plan on helping each other out without calling 911 and using them for anything. Right, that's what I'm saying. You know, we can't rely on them. We already know this U.S. government hates us. They have a whole standing history of hating us. Look, when all those lynchings went on, they looked the other way. Never intervened, never tried to stop it. Okay? So we can't rely, and these devils are the government. The same thing. There's no distinction between them and the government. Come on, no. Yeah, we should. Nobody should be crying in front of cameras talking about they keep passing us up. They won't, some of us been in water for 5 days. We shouldn't even be talking like that. We have to help each other and not worry about them. But you know what? The beautiful part is many of the Black men have been stepping up to the plate and just using whatever they got. I saw them floating by with the refrigerators and having children in there and using inflatable mattresses and little inflatable boats. I even saw somebody use a inflatable baby pool, and they had some children in it. You know, our people are crafty. That's one thing the Most High made us crafty behind people, where we are so creative. We know how to use the resources around us. Even if we don't have a boat, an actual boat, we know how to use the things around us. Yeah, I did a video on him, Cortez Miller. Yeah, we know how to use anything around us and make it work. That's one thing about us. We may cry for a moment, but we move on. That's right, my greatness inside. I agree with that 100%. Hosea 4, chapter 6 through 7. Yeah, I saw that as well, Earth Angel. I saw that. And only our people can come up with stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. It is no doubt who the set apart people are on this planet. I don't care what stumbling blocks they have thrown in our way. Our people always know how to find a way around it. That's one thing you can count on us to do. They can only slow us up for a moment, and only a moment. I'm not sure about that, Cap. This is the first I'm hearing about that, but nothing is impossible in this crazy place. Yeah, we are. You know, that's the one thing we got on our side. If America got attacked tonight militarily, I really believe in my heart Black people would find a way to, we would be able to go run and hide and we would be okay. I really believe that. If anybody's going to survive I don't care what the devastation is in this country, we'll be the ones surviving it. They have put us through every kind of hell you can think of, and we're still here. Still here. Hi, Queen, Radical Home Goddess. Yeah, just glowing. They're treating us that way because historically they always got away with it. You know, we never give them hell or punish them for these type of things before in the past. And we really should have a long time ago. You know, whenever they act like this towards us, there should be a consequence. They should not be able to just get away with it. Believe me, I have prayed for the Most High to rain his vengeance on these people that are doing this. And it's not just a racist. You got your pulpit pimps like Joel Osteen. You know, man makes $55 million a year and he don't want to help nobody. He don't want to help anybody. And it's amazing how I saw one video of a black woman defending his behavior. I said, you know what? That's why we can never move forward, because of these coons among us. It's the coons that are holding us back and have been for some time. Let me see if I can refresh myself here. And quite frankly, I'm sick of the coons. I really am. I just think that, you know, it's our fault for not dealing with that situation as well. The coons have been running rampant among us for way too long. Okay, I'm just trying to get myself connected. I kind of lost my connection there. Okay, here we go. You know, and it's sad. You know, when I heard this brother's story right here in this video, you know, it was really heartbreaking listening to him. And you can tell he was fighting back the tears on how they were being passed up in Texas and not rescued. But like I said, when I think back on Katrina, I am not surprised they're doing this. You know, there's a reason why the Most High chose them in natural selection for them to be eliminated. Cows were never promised everlasting life. That was given to us. It was not given to them. Well, that's because the coon is the only kind of black person the media wants to put on in this country, Earth Angel. They don't want to give anybody but the coon the mic. And unfortunately, people think we all feel that way, and we really don't. Well, yeah, Cortez Miller. Coons will get killed just as fast as a rebel black person. they don't care about them in the end. You know, coons are the ones they use up and then discard. Well, remember, you don't have to take the mark of the beast. The only thing they'll do is threaten you. Oh, we ain't going to give you this and we're not going to give you that. You know, hopefully by then, many of our people will be growing your own food and not relying on them. You know, that's a beautiful thing. Yeah, right, CJ. I said they traded their birthright for a bowl of blood because there's a lot of blood on the hands of the coon, too. There's been many coons that have been responsible for our deaths as well. Oh my goodness, Jason Whitlock, Lady of Soul 502. That man is so ugly. I can't even hardly look at him when he's talking. He's so unattractive. I said, you know, these devils got to be desperate to put somebody like that on TV. Oh, really, Battle X? I'm sorry to hear that. No, you know, we're not supposed to go anywhere. And it doesn't make any sense to flee because the entire planet is the wilderness. Okay. You know, and so where are you fleeing? And no matter where you go on this earth, you're still in the wilderness. So it's stupid to flee anywhere. You know, unfortunately, many of these Hebrews camps that have promoted that, they will pay for what they've done. Using scare tactics on our people just to get money out of them. Or making you believe that all the men had a whole bunch of wives, and that's not true. A lot of the men in the Bible did not have a whole bunch of wives. Some did, but there were many that did not. They only had their one wife, and that was it. You know, you got to understand unfortunately, there's a lot of evil people among us, wicked agendas, and those agendas are very selfish. And it's sad, but these things are happening. And most of our people was, and you know what the sad part is, goddess, the multiple wives from the Gentiles, and our people wanted to copy it, but that didn't originally come from us. That came from Gentiles originally. It was never our way originally. It was always, you know, one man, one woman. And then some of the men, when they saw the Gentile men with multiple wives, they wanted to do the same thing, and the Most High allowed it. But you have to look, that was not originally our tradition. He allowed it, but that was not, you know, that was not the original thing for us. Yeah, Harvey was a very strange storm. And the fact that it lingered in the same spot for days and days and days, and it just continued to dump a ton of rain onto Texas. And I was reading some places had 50 feet of rain. Do you know how unusual that is? It's not common for any storm, even a hurricane, to dump 50 feet of rain. Sure. I mean, like I said, that came from the Gentile. It was the Gentile men that started that stuff up originally. And like I said, it was the men that saw it and they decided they wanted more than one wife. And it was not what the Most High originally intended, but he did allow it. But you see at the end, the men that had a lot of wives ended up getting messed up. Look at what happened to King Solomon. It pretty much did him in. He started worshiping the gods of his Gentile wives because he married Gentile women. He didn't marry all Hebrew women. So a lot of his women were Hebrew. Some were Hebrew, and he married Gentiles, and that's where he really screwed up. Yeah, the tribes are all Negro. Absolutely. I believe that 100%. I don't believe they were anything else. Yeah, they definitely knew Hurricane Harvey was coming. Well, a lot of people blame King Solomon for the fact that we got enslaved. He said he set the entire thing up for us to go into captivity. And remember, he started worshiping the idols and gods of his Gentile wives, and that's where he ran into problems. Remember, this man had 700 wives. Found that to be outrageous, but that's how many wives he had. I was like, what the man do? Stare at every woman and said, I'm going to make you my wife. That's what it sounds like. Right. That was the problem, Lady of Soul 502. Many of them, once they were allowed to marry more than one wife, they ran out there after Gentile women. And that's the problem. That turned into a big problem. And even for the Most High, it turned into a problem because a lot of those men, many of those men were turning away from him altogether and start worshiping um, Baal, the false gods and everything. They start worshiping them, which our people were never supposed to do. That's why he did not want us mixing with the Gentiles. He knew what was going to happen. But our people insisted on doing it anyway. Believe me, that was going on even in Egypt. When our people left out of Egypt, there were Hamite, Shemite children in the mix too. All of the kids that left were not Hebrew. Some of them were mixed with Hamite, just from our people living there and procreating with the Egyptians. No, this is why, if you notice, Lady of Soul 502, this is why many of them won't do a DNA test. A lot of Gentiles, especially white Gentiles, will not do DNA test. And the big reason is they know they're not going to find a drop of Hebrew blood in them. And they know this already. That's why they won't do it. Yes, that's right. Watch move. That's right. A lot of people don't realize, you know how we war within our group, where you'll see like gangs doing drive-bys on other black people. We've been warring like that for a long time. Even when our kingdom split, the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom split, we were warring among each other even back then. Don't you know our people would get on horseback and get swords and kill each other? So instead of drive-bys in a car, we did horse-bys on each other. We've been fighting among each other like that for a long time. And it's sad. So when you see the gangs killing other black people, or black people just in general, going to a party and shooting up the party and everybody there is black, we've been doing that for a long time. Yeah, horse buy. We got, our people would get on horseback and get their swords and go attack each other. So the whole concept of the drive-by is actually not new among our people. We've been warring with each other for way too long. Yeah, a horse buy. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, we would get that angry with each other and fought, even our ancestors were fighting each other like that. And in most cases, it was the Northern Kingdom of Hebrews against the Southern Kingdom of the Hebrews. And yeah, it's very sad that we even have that kind of legacy, but we do. I know it does sound kind of funny when you say it, a horse spy, but people would do it, which is even worse. But those of you, because I know, Cap, you are down there in Texas. What are the conditions like for you? I know Phil from the Advice Show said that it's flooded around him, but the flood only went so far up on the grass at his place, so his house itself is dry. All right. There was something else I wanted to cover. So we know about our people being passed over. Now, did you see the Charlie Hebdo cover? Let me see if I can bring that up for you. Charlie Hebdo did this cover of neo-Nazis drowning in Hurricane Harvey. Just to say, you know, well, Nazis dying, you know, in Hurricane Harvey is a good thing. And of course, I was looking at some of their comments. They didn't like that too much.
With startling images of Harvey's devastation gracing the covers of publications, a shocking new cover of its own from satirical French magazine Charlie Hebdo. The headline reads, "God exists. He drowned all the neo-Nazis of Texas." You can see arms sticking out of the water, appearing to give a Nazi salute, with Nazi flags seen in the background. Critics are blasting the magazine's portrayal of Harvey's devastation, whose floodwaters have killed at least 37 people. Conservative pundit Debbie Schlessel tweeting, "So the idiots at Charlie Hebdo are cheering the Houston Harvey disaster because they claim it drowned neo-Nazis? WTF." Another writes, "You have every right to publish this, and I have every right to call you a piece of exploitation." But one user points out the entire point of Charlie Hebdo is to be provocative. Indeed, the magazine has a propensity to provoke. Its outrageous depictions of Muslims later leading to 2 men in 2015 storming the magazine's office, claiming allegiance to Al-Qaeda and killing 12 people. Nearly 52 inches of rain have been recorded in the Lone Star State, a national record, with at least 13,000 people airlifted from the waters.
Yeah, they didn't take too kindly about Nazis looking like they were drowning out there. Personally, I thought it was kind of comical. You know, yeah, you know, they said the water is starting to recede. In some parts of Texas. You know, the sad part is they're probably going to find more dead bodies, just like they did during Katrina. It's going to, that death toll of 37, believe me, they're going to find a lot more than 37. It's a lot of people that didn't make it out. You know, that's why I'm hoping that before Irma hits, a lot of our people will be a little more wiser in how they ride this storm out. Okay, in California, it's raining. Yeah, Lord Ball 3, you're right, not. Oh, man. Yeah, that's a good thing. Oh, there's a lot of leaks going on. Radical Home Goddess, Queen, there's a lot of leaks. From what I understand, by that shoreline were a lot of plant and manufacturing, and oil, and all kinds of things around the shoreline. You know, we're just hearing about the one explosion and, you know, the chemical waste. Believe me, it's a lot of chemicals going into that water. And we're not bringing the full story. I absolutely believe that. And the company that had the explosion, I think that's Arkema, prepared for this hurricane. How can you have a chemical plant that size and had it there for decades and not have a plan in place for disaster relief? They should make them close until they have one. I mean, that's a disgrace that they've been around that long and nobody put any type of plan in place, knowing that, you know, the Texas, Louisiana, all around there are prone to getting hit with those type of storms. Yeah, very close to home, Elena 82. That's pretty shocking. But it seems that is how things are situated in Texas when you really look at an aerial shot. You know, those homes are near all types of chemical plants, and that's pretty shocking. Because when the explosion happened, I think they said it was like homes were like a mile and a half away from the plants. That's outrageous. A mile and a half? That's it? No, I would not be shocked at what's in that water. I would not be shocked. In fact, even when the water recedes, I don't think the Texans should be drinking a lot of that water right away. I just don't. Well, they'll probably try to gentrify it. And, the sad part is they said the majority of the people did not have any type of flood insurance. So if they own their houses, they're probably going to have to do all of the work themselves, ripping out the carpet and taking down the drywall and replacing all that stuff. All the expense is going to have to come out of their pocket if they want to continue to live there. But I read the majority of them did not have flood insurance. CJ, I'm with you. I always thought the concept of bottled water was stupid. This devil have crafted a way to sell us something that falls freely from the sky. And we all got used to buying it. Sherry, you know what? You're right. You want to hear something, Sherry? 65. Here in New Jersey, we had a representative that came under heat that said, pay the township money for growing a garden. And of course, he came under a lot of fire and went somewhere and shut up after everybody cussed him out. But he was trying to say anybody in the state, in our township where I live, that wanted to grow a garden, we should have had to pay a fee out to grow a garden. I kid you not. They really want their mercy, 100%. They don't want us to be self-reliant at all. They talk all that stuff, but at the end of the day, they want us to depend on them. That's what it really boils down to. Yeah, I mean, that's it. Capped, if it's possible, yeah. I mean, I'm just not sure if it's going to be possible for everybody. Well, you know what, Earth Angel, you bring up a very good point about those bottled waters. And not only that, if you have a bottle of water sitting in a hot car, it actually becomes toxic. They tell you not to drink it. If it's been sitting in your car on a hot day, you should just pour the water out and discard the plastic, not to even drink it, because the plastic bottle apparently makes the water toxic. CJ, anything this devil gives us, we should know it's going to be something wrong with it. Look, these are the same people that can't even perfect a sunscreen for themselves. So when they put all those preservatives and fillers and everything into the food, you can best believe that's not going to be any good either. They take perfectly good food that grow from the soil and then taint it. by the way they package it and trying to preserve it in order for it to have a longer shelf life. So they take good food, turn it bad. That's really all they do. Well, you know, also meat in the supermarket. When you see the meat looking all pink and everything, they use carbon monoxide to keep the meat looking pink in the stores. And some of that meat has been around for a while, you know, before it's bought up by the customers. So they try to make it look fresh by keeping it looking pink with carbon monoxide, which is ridiculous, but that's how they do it. Yes, the chemical in plastic does cause cancer. That's right, Sherry. I always have a few bottles of distilled water in my house. That's very true. Right. Do you know that is true? They do bleach as white, but sugar naturally is not white. Do you know the Most High never intended it for us to have sugar? It was unheard of for us to even have sugar. You know, natural vanilla ice cream, Lord Maul, is black. These devils turned it white, but it's not naturally white. Vanilla bean is black. So, in fact, my grandmother told me when she was a little girl, vanilla ice cream was black. But these devils couldn't take eating something that good and it was black. So they used preservatives and everything and turned it from black to white. But white is not the natural color of vanilla. Black is. Yes, yes. Yeah, they do. They do wash the chicken in ammonia. And every now and then when you open a package, you can actually smell it. I can. Yeah, we were never supposed to have sugar. Whenever we had anything sweet, we would have it through, you know, you ever notice how the Bible always talks about milk and honey? Whenever we wanted to sweeten things back during ancient times, it was with honey or, you know, the natural juice from fruit. But we never had sugar. Sugar was not our thing. Sugar was the Gentile thing. Well, Sherry, you know, speaking of the meat glue and all that stuff, and Cap, the thing is, you see the way they make them chicken nuggets for McDonald's, you know, that pink slime stuff they make. That stuff got everything in it. It's got feathers, eyes, beaks, all the stuff that we're not supposed to eat is in those chicken nuggets. And even the chicken's blood, you know, all of that's mixed in there. Yeah, I mean, they got all that stuff in there in the chicken nuggets. Yeah, I make my own alkaline water too, Mr. C. I do the same thing. I have been for a while, and I prefer to do it that way. You know, you can just buy the pitcher. I got mine from Amazon, and I just make my own alkaline water. You know, you can buy the cases, but to me, it's just more cost effective if you just make your own. Yeah, because, you know, look at it this way, Cap. The Gentiles will eat anything. And it's only because this goes right back to their history. Their history, they ate any damn thing they could get their hands on back when they were in the caves. And remember, the Asians were also in the cave. What did they eat? They not only ate all of the unnatural things, they ate each other. You know, these people have a history not only eating anything they could find in the land, they got a history of cannibalism. I mean, remember, the Asians, they eat what, baby soup? They eat baby soup for crap. They eat baby soup. That comes from their Neanderthal days. You know, the Most High got to make them barren. This is the best way to get rid of them. Yeah, I've seen them fry a whole dog. I was watching a video one time, and they have like a big fryer that they put the dog in after they, you know, skin it and everything, and they deep fry it, and they had it, the whole dog in a deep fryer. Yeah, they eat all that. You know, there was a video of a man down in South America eating a mouse that he found in his house. He found a mouse and he ate the whole thing whole. Right, Emerald Princess. They've always eaten unnatural, unclean things. This is who they are. I mean, look, what's the #1 selling thing in America? Ribs. Okay, and all summer long when people are firing up the grill, they got their pig ribs right there ready to throw on there, and their pig hot dogs, and a lot of the ground meat is mixed with veal and pork. So you have to be careful if you're eating that kind of stuff. Yeah, a lot of people do. I know people that just glowing that would see a dead squirrel and they would get the dead squirrel and the possums and cook them up. I think I would get a deer. In New Jersey, and I know they're all over. In New Jersey, there's a lot of deer. I would take my chance on going out there and getting myself a deer before I eat a damn squirrel or possum. We have a lot of deer here in New Jersey. I'd get out there and kill myself a deer if I was that desperate. At least that's a clean animal. Yeah, they've always sold whole pigs. That's true. One time my son and I were out driving, and it must have been after midnight, and there was like 8 of them that ran right in front of the car, and thank goodness my son saw it. I didn't even see them coming. I could have easily totaled out my car and killed some of them. He saw the herd running from the left, and I'm sitting there and I'm getting ready to go past the light, and it must have been about 8 of them in a herd just running at full speed across the road. And my son yelled out to me, "Wait a minute, wait, don't go, don't go." And I looked over and I could have easily hit them. I would never have seen them coming. I was just so grateful he was sitting in the car with me and saw the deers coming. But I have been out at night and on many occasions and deers run right in front of my car. So I've seen that many times. I have one uncle that hunts deer and he lives down in Georgia. Yeah, yeah, you know, and that's the thing. Our people, you didn't hear about a lot of fat Hebrews in the Bible. You know, our people was pretty much in shape. You know, we're out of shape now. You know, many of our people are out of shape now because we're living and eating this American diet, which is all wrong. It's not our food. You know, it's not how we lived. This is the Gentile way of living and eating, and that's why so many of them are out of shape and look bad and age bad because this is their diet. You know, you got to understand, they came out of caves. They were never a people that ate well. Never. Even from their beginnings, they were never a people that ate food well. They ate whatever they could get their hands on. Maestro K, I would not be surprised. You know, I've heard a lot of horror stories about fish. They said even the ones that are raised on farms are not safe to eat. Woo, CJ. Yeah, there you go. No, you know, they are, deers usually hang out in packs. I had a friend that lived in a town here in New Jersey called East Hampton, and every day the deers would be in her backyard, a whole bunch of them just nibbling on her grass. And she would see them out there all the time. You know, at a certain time of the evening, she would see them out there. It'd be a whole bunch of them. But around me, you don't really see them so much during the day, but when you're out and about at night, you'll get a glimpse of a few deers. Yeah, first of all, the way they have those fish farms, those fish all in a dirty pool in many cases, it just don't look sanitary. You know, it's just another money op for the Gentiles. That's all. They don't care whether it's healthy or not. They need to make a buck. Well, you know, Cortez Miller, a lot of the vegetables that they sell out on the market have really less nutritional value than they did years ago. And you know what? If you get a chance, pull up the picture of the chicken from the 1950s and look at the chicken today. It is like a hell of a difference between what they look like before all the hormones were being injected in them. I think you can go to Google and look at Google images of a 1950s chicken and then compare it to a chicken that you see today. It is shocking at how different they look. Very shocking. You know, they got so many of the animals so unnatural. It's not even funny. And if you do want something organic, they make you pay a higher price for it. I mean, this whole system is wicked. It really is. We bought some huge chicken legs at Smack. Can you imagine the hormones they put in that chicken in order to make it that big? Yeah, I'm serious, y'all. When you get a chance, pull up a chicken from the 1950s and look at it in comparison to the size of a chicken today. It is very shocking. And it tells you that the chickens that we're looking at today were never supposed to be the size that they are. Yeah, I haven't gone in Church's Chicken in years. It's been a long time since I've been in one. I think the last time I've been in a Church's Chicken, I kid you not, probably was like 10 years ago. It's been a very long time since I've gone in one. Yeah, but you know what? This is why so many of the animals die such an unnatural death. You hear about just as many animals getting cancer as people, and that's unnatural. Yeah, the chickens now, y'all saw that video of that ginormous chicken. That chicken was almost as big as me. I'm like, damn. But I have watched farmers inject cows and inject farm animals. You'll see them walking up with needles and injecting them with all. I haven't even seen sheep get injected. I mean, they do that all the time. Yeah, I saw that just glowing. The cows that have holes in their sides. Yeah, these people are just sick. Yeah, I did see that Earth Angel, and I think that's disgusting to do that to an animal. I mean, in my opinion, that's nothing but steroids. And, you know, they may tell you that it's something else. I believe it's steroids. I've even seen horses look like that, where the horse got muscles bulging all over its body. And, you know, they're injecting those animals with something that's not natural. You hot sauce the hell out of the chicken. Woo, hot sauce the hell out of the chicken. Yeah, there's some sick things going on with the animals, and they're doing just too many wicked things on this earth. You know, like I said, the Most High got to make these people barren in order to get rid of them. You can't allow them to go into the future reproducing, because we're never going to have a moment's peace. And remember, when they go, all evil on the earth will go with them. All of it will go. Oh, KFC do a lot of wicked things. Yeah. I'm not even sure if those things are even chicken, to be honest with you. Oh, I can't stand PETA. I even got into a few arguments with a few of them online and told them that I thought they were full of shit. I don't care. I wouldn't be surprised about Tyson. I would not be surprised about that. Look, they even serve, I was looking over the summer in the paper, they even serve a bacon milkshake. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? They're making a milkshake out of bacon. Well, I say we leave all the bacon for them. Mayo, bacon, you let them eat all of it on their way out. We can bury the bacon with them. Yeah, but the sad part is they sneak pork into virtually everything. There are so many things that should not even have pork in it, but they have put so many items out here, even candy, that has pork in it. It's just outrageous. Yeah, I saw that, and oh, I can't believe people are drinking that. Ugh. Yeah, Sherry 65, everything got pork in it, even things that we think shouldn't have pork in it. But see, it was all done by design. These devils knew we were never supposed to have pork. So it was deliberately put in all the foods and the drinks and everything. They know we were never supposed to have it. You know, they're doing everything they can that they feel is going to keep us far away from the Most High. That's why they're doing it. I would not be surprised about that. They have bacon on everything. food and non-food items. You know, somebody had told me Bounty, I think paper towels, because they're real stretchy. They said that's pork in there that makes the paper towel all stretchy and everything. Yeah. Well, Lord Mall, you know, you can get a vegetable pasta. I don't know how you feel about that. Yeah, boar's hair brush. Yeah, they even pork in the brushes. And like I said, they did this to us on purpose because they knew we were not supposed to have pork. So they have, you know, the elite who was behind the whole thing and own all of these food manufacturing companies did these things on purpose. They know we're not supposed to have it. But you know what? The Most High knew these things were going to happen. And he knew this was going to happen. All we can do whenever we eat something, we just pray to him that nothing is in there that we shouldn't have. And, you know, he knows we're not eating it intentionally. You know, it's very different if you're doing it intentionally. Yeah, they got it. I mean, paper, toilet paper. There are some toilet paper that have pork in it, and even boxes of tissue. It's everywhere. And like I said, they did it on purpose. It's gotten to the point where it's almost impossible to get something and it doesn't have pork in it somewhere. Yeah, even paint has pork in it. That's true. I already be fresh. But yeah, you know, it's almost impossible. I know, I even know in my, you know, I try my best to avoid pork, but I know somewhere in my house I probably got something with pork on it. Yeah, even the toilet paper, Charmin, you know, the ones that are kind of stretchy. Yeah, they got pork in it too. Bounty paper towels. Pork and Jiffy. Woo, Lord Maul, you're right. Yeah, yeah. There's just so many things. Like I said, I probably can walk around my house and pinpoint a few things that got pork in it that I did not originally know had pork when I bought it. Yeah, a lot of the jelly beans. You know, I used to love the hell out of Swedish fish and Twizzler. I used to have that all the time growing up. Oh my goodness. I would have bags of Swedish fish, and or I would have the big bags of Twizzler, and I had that all the time. Now I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't believe all that pork I was eating. You know, rock candy. I remember having that growing up. My son was a gummy bear nut too. Oh, I used to get those for him all the time, Earth Angel. Oh man, we would be in the store. Oh, can I get some gummy bears? Gummy bears, gummy lifesavers, oh, gummy worms, all that stuff. I think the only gummy bears that I know is made from vegetable gelatin, or I think it's the Haribo. If you get Haribo, it's made from a vegetable gelatin and not pork. That's the only gummy bears on the market that I know is non-pork. Oh, sour gummy worms. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my son, I used to get the bags of gummy lifesavers for him. I can't believe I did all that stuff, but I did. Yeah, I saw his video. I did see Tareen Rain's video. But you know what? I'm not surprised. They're going after all Black YouTubers. All you have to, I mean, everybody's going to have to just have backup channels. That's the only way we'll be able to get around a lot of it. Yeah. Like I said, I used to eat the hell out of those Swedish fish. Man, when I found out that had pork in it, man, that broke my heart. I was like, damn, I can't have that no more. Right, Tareen. In fact, I subscribed to his new channel this morning. Emerald Princess, you know what? I used to snack on those. Um, I live in New Jersey, but used to work over in Pennsylvania. So I would always have like a small little bag of them. And on my long drive home, I would be snacking on the Swedish fish on my long drive. Well, yeah, you know, the coons are going to always keep their channel because remember, the coons is who the devil favors. The devil loves coons. So they're going to pretty much go untouched. You know, the coons are the ones making the most money out of all the Black people online. That's just the way it is. You're not licking masters behind, you're not making that much. Yeah, my greatness inside. I used to get gummy bears all the time because my son would love them. So I would always keep those around. We always had the gummy bears, the Twizzler, all that stuff. Yeah, Alicia C. I don't eat any of that stuff anymore either. But I used to go to the Red Lobster back in the day. I did all that stuff. And used to buy live crabs too, everybody. Yes, I'm guilty. I used to buy live crabs, and I did all that stuff back in the day. There used to be a diner by me that made this pasta dinner, and it would have crab, scallops, and I think salmon. And they would have it in their sauce and everything. And I used to get that all the time. I thought it was so good. Now you couldn't pay me to walk in there and get that same dish. But over 10 years ago, I was eating it. Yeah, it's pretty sick. And unfortunately, some of our people are never going to let go of the pork. They're going to keep the pork around no matter what. And the shellfish and crabs and lobsters and all that stuff. Yeah, that's what it had. It had lobster, scallops, and crab. And it was a pasta dinner. And I used to have that all the time. Had it all the time. And then I remember coming over and eating my father's barbecued ribs that he would make on the grill. Oh, man. Oh, man. The stuff we used to do. Smothered pork chops, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I never tried human flesh. I don't want to try it. Oh, yeah. I had a cousin that made this Louisiana jambalaya, and it would have all the crabs and all that stuff in it. It was delicious too, but you couldn't pay me to eat that. She used to make it for the family, a big giant pot. And we would eat it, and it was real spicy and had all types of shrimp and everything in it, and it was good. She was from Louisiana, so she used to know how to make jambalaya and all that stuff, and it was good. I wouldn't touch it now. All we have to do is just do our best to avoid it. I was telling another Hebrew online because they were like, I love rabbit. I was like, you can't eat a rabbit. A rabbit's unclean. You can't eat nothing with paws. Remember, if it's got paws, you can't eat it. Can't eat anything with paws. Yeah, gumbo. I used to eat gumbo. Yeah. Yeah, frog legs. All the, woo, boy, we come a long way. Yeah, my dad used to love crab cakes. He would eat crab cakes all the time. Stuffed grape leaves. I never had that before. Yeah, yeah. It used to be a restaurant near me that used to serve the crab legs. Yeah, yeah, Syria, Israel, you're right. You know, many of the sauces, even many of the gravies, you have to watch the gravies because a lot of gravies have pork in it too. Even the beef gravies and things like that have pork in it. You know, if you're going to have gravy, make your own. Make your own from scratch. That way you know what's going in it. Well, yeah, shrimps are really just bottom feeders. They're in the ocean to keep it clean. You know, all of those shellfishes and shrimps, that's what they're there for, to keep the ocean clean. Wow, CJ used to eat sushi. I had sushi only a few times. I never had it a lot in my life. Yeah, you just got to read the label. A lot of brown gravies have pork in it too. But like I said, if you know, I don't know if you're into making your own gravies, you can actually make your own. You don't have to get store bought at all. You know, there's a restaurant near me, and they're Muslims. They're and they make all of their sauces from scratch. So nothing they make have any pork in it. And like I said, whenever I want to have like a spaghetti or a lasagna or anything, I go around there and buy their sauce because they put no pork in it. So I can still have, you know, I can make, you know, meatballs, and I put their spaghetti sauce, their homemade spaghetti sauce in it, and then I get like the, you know, the sub rolls, and I do that sometimes. You know, if you've got a place around you that's kosher, you could probably get sauce from there, and that'll be perfectly fine. Oh, okay, Lord Mall, you're from the Midwest. Right. You know, anything with shells on it, because oysters are also another thing that lives on the bottom of the ocean. You know, all those shellfishes are there to keep the ocean clean. Yeah, you know, Saria, you're right, because look at a shrimp with its head on. It looks like an insect. They got long antennas and everything, and them old budgy looking eyes. You're not supposed to eat that thing. Just looking at it should tell you you're not supposed to eat it. Yeah, that's what shrimps are. roach, the roach of the sea. You know, only a devil would take something like that out of the sea and then try to make it a delicacy or something special to eat, you know? Unfortunately, many of our eating habits come from the enemy, and that's one thing we definitely have to break out of. Right. But, you know, you just be careful when you do, if you are going to eat fish, because they got everything so contaminated. It may actually not be safe to even eat stuff anymore. You know, I don't drink milk anymore. I stopped drinking milk years ago. But I did for a long time, you know, but I'm lactose intolerant. I think the Most High made me that way to make me stop drinking milk. I really do. Right, we can't have things like catfish. You know, I had an uncle that loved catfish, and every time he would come over or I would invite him over, I would make catfish for him. Boy, I could kick myself for that now. But he used to love catfish. And like I said, when you look at them, catfish are so ugly with their long whiskers and everything. When you look at that shit, you should know immediately you shouldn't be eating it. Boy, them some ugly behind fish. Go look at a catfish. Things are ugly. Really, you still drink milk? I can't drink it. When I drink it, it feels like there's a brick sitting in my stomach. I can't drink it at all. Yeah, almond milk is good. Right, but see, you know, the milk is for those cockazoids. You know, they don't have natural vitamin D. So that's where it was really intended for them. They have no natural vitamin D, and this is why they keep in no melanin, and they need the extra vitamin D. That's for them. I mean, you can tell they get all the osteoporosis and everything, and we don't get that. Yeah, I've seen the blobfish. Those things look disgusting. People eat those things too. I remember back in the day, I was dating a guy, and he used to like squid. He would eat squid. Yeah, I have organic eggs right now in my refrigerator that I just bought. The brown ones, the brown organic eggs. You know, anything that these people get their hands on is just, it's not going to be right. You know, that's just the way it is. I had a friend recently that wanted to buy a white cat, and I told her, don't buy a white cat. They're all deaths. They're all death. You know, anything that these devils create, it's never going to be right. You should know that. But they're all deaf. None of them can hear. I never was big on shark. You know, I had shark one time and I didn't care for it. To me, it just didn't have that much flavor to it. Maybe it was just me. Maybe it was the way it was made. But yeah, you know, I had shark one time in my entire life. I only had a little bit of it, and I really didn't think it was all that. So I never had it again. Yeah, calamari. And I dated a guy that used to eat that all the time. He used to like it. Yeah. Well, Chinese and Japanese eat everything in the sea. Them people will even eat each other. Wow. Yeah, I remember my mom would buy bags of pork rind and eat them when I was a little girl. Woo, man. And I think at least once a week when I lived in Philly, we always smelled someone making chitlins. Oh, man. Yeah, cow tongue. I've been out in the store and see all them big cow tongues. I never, that's one thing I stayed away from. I don't want eat anything that can taste me back. No, one tree, the plum tree I have came from a nursery. The pear tree was already here when we moved into the house. So, no, I did not grow either tree from seeds. Yeah, I bought my plum tree as a sapling, but it's huge now. It's no longer a sapling. The thing is ginormous. Yeah, I remember the pig's feet. But you know what? It's not entirely our fault. We were given a crappy diet by the slave master. If you remember, the pig was the one thing he would let us eat, you know? So, and we had those bad habits passed down through the generations, and that's what happened to us. Yeah, I know. I thought pig's feet was disgusting too. Just looking at them things in a jar is disgusting enough. I used to work with people that would have, I worked with one woman that would bring a jar of it to lunch and she would sit across from us eating the pig feet. Oh, man. Okay, Battle Axe. Thank you for coming. Yeah, you're like my brother. My brother puts hot sauce on everything. It's like he want to hot sauce everything up. Well, there's a couple of fish markets around me, and they'll, like, if you pick the fish out, they will clean the fish and fillet it and everything, take the bones out of it for you and package it up, and that's it. A lot of fish markets will do that. So you don't have to clean the fish yourself. Yeah, I've seen the pickled pig ears. You know, before I knew better, I used to, when my dog was alive for a while, I would get him the pig ears to gnaw on. And he used to sit there and eat the pig ears. Woo! I already told Loretta, my cat, she's a Hebrew cat. She ain't allowed to have no pork. She doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about, but she don't get any pork. You can eat goat, Alicia C. That's a clean animal. Yeah, yeah, CJ, I told her she's a Hebrew cat. She can't have any pork. Hog maws to the pit bulls, okay. Yeah, you know, unfortunately, I know a lot of people that still eat all that junk and they love it and don't want to give it up. You know, that's why my greatness inside, that's why so many don't want to come to the Most High, because they're afraid they're going to have to give things up. And they don't realize the things that they should give up are bad for them anyway. And that stuff is bad for you. You know, all that pork and everything they're eating is bad for them. That's why so many Black people go to an early death, because of that. I haven't been tired after the eclipse just glowing, but one thing I do notice, I've been a little bit congested since the eclipse, but that's about it. And at first I thought because of the weather changing so rapidly, but I don't know. But that's the one thing I do notice. I've been a lot more congested since the eclipse. Right, right, Saria. Tilapia is frankenfish. Some people say frankenfish. Yeah, you know, some people are going through some symptoms, but for us, I think it's really normal. Um, but, you know, just be careful. And if you can treat yourself naturally with, you know, from your symptoms, definitely do that. Yeah, yeah, it's tilapia, frankenfish. Been going to bed early. Yeah, you know, it said it was going to raise our consciousness. Yeah, yeah, the sunscreen in the eyes, that had me cracking up. These people got to be out of their mind and stupid altogether. Yeah, you know, down in Georgia where my father's from in Irwin County, Georgia, they got very popular restaurant down there called the Catfish House. It's in Ocilla, Georgia. It's called that Catfish House. In fact, they had a web page online, and it's real popular. People from all over Irwin County goes there, goes to Catfish House. And that's where the catfish is their main dish. Yeah, there's a lot of chatter about September 23rd, Saria online. And in fact, you can look up the videos. There's a lot of videos. I try to avoid a lot of that stuff because the Most High always tell us we're not going to know the date or the time. So I usually don't get into the things that have a date on it because, I know we shouldn't be doing those kind of things. So those of you that are on the East Coast, just be on the lookout for Irma, and definitely try to keep yourself safe. Because this one, they said it's way bigger than Harvey in size. It's bigger in size than Harvey, and right now more powerful. So it's going to be a threat to the islands next week, and probably like within days after striking the islands, it will come up the East Coast. I just hope it doesn't make landfall, especially if it's that powerful. So make sure you look out for that. And one last thing. Right now, I have about 51 patrons. If any of you are interested in becoming a patron, or if you can, because, I would like to increase my number. My goal is to have anywhere between 325 and 400 patrons. I don't care if you can't do anything but give $1. Any little amount will help. So, but in those of you that are already patrons, I want to thank you very much. And, your support is deeply appreciated. And I'm glad that you are one of my patrons, Lady of Soul 502. It's tough. I don't really make anything from YouTube. I really seriously don't. It's very minimal. In fact, last month I don't even think I got $100. I mean, it really is not that much money, which I was never counting on it for money anyway. You just don't make a lot on YouTube, not unless you're getting millions of hits every month, and I don't get that. I'm not cooning out here, so I don't get that. Well, yeah, right now, the live stream that I have, see, the thing is, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers in order to do the super chat where you can, make donations during the live stream. And right now, I'm not quite up to 1,000 subscribers. That's why, it's not on. I don't have that many subscribers on this channel, not yet. But it is growing. It's growing every day. Some people are just taking a little longer to find me. Yeah, I would advise, Sherry, I would advise everybody to stay away from FEMA camps. And yes, absolutely do not give your money to the Red Cross, because that Red Cross money is going to the elites. All you're doing is making them richer. That's all you're doing. You know, behind all of these organizations, you got the elites behind the entire thing. These damn people are already rich. I'm not interested in keeping them rich. Not interested in doing that. Yeah, yeah. On this chat, I just don't have enough. Right now, I don't have enough subscribers. You know, once I do, then I'll be able to turn on the super chat. I just can't do it now. Yeah, well, Lord Maul, I want to do more than put gas in the car. I want to be able to put some of you to work. Now, I had a couple of people write me through email and said they would be interested in writing for me in the future, you know, news stories. And that's exactly what I want to be able to do. You know, I want to be able to grow my channel and put some of you to work that want to do either a job on the side or just in general want to earn money. You know, I'd rather put my people to work than anyone else. Yeah, more than a billion, unfortunately, Lady of Soul. You just can't trust. Unfortunately, you can't trust any organization that our enemy put together. You can best believe if they put it together, it's never going to be right. It's just going to be a bunch of stealing, and you know stealing is their nature. Stealing is just their overall nature. And the money will never make it to the people that need it the most. This is why you got the Haitians and anybody that's been through disasters that could not rebuild. I mean, look, even Louisiana, all of those homes that were damaged by Katrina, a lot of those homes are still sitting there. I ran into, like a year after Katrina, there was a man up around where I live, and he came up here from Louisiana when Katrina hit. He never could do anything with his house because, number one, he didn't have the money, and the house was just still sitting there all boarded up. He couldn't afford to go down there and do anything with it. And that's the case with a lot of people. And unfortunately, there were a lot of people in Louisiana that were renting their homes. They didn't even own the house they were living in. So, you know, it was nothing for them to go back to once they relocated. That's why so many of the Black people never went back that lived there at one point in time. They never went back. Yeah, SMAC, just make sure I get an email from you to my Lisa Stories at gmail.com. I have 2 people so far. And like I said, if I can reach my goal of 300 to 400 patrons, then I'll be putting you to work tomorrow. You can start writing for me. You know, I can use some of that and make jobs for people. And that's what I want to do. And there's one more thing I'm going to tell you guys about, and then I'm going to let you go. In the state of New Jersey, and you know, if any of you are interested in doing this, in New Jersey, you don't have to go to school or get any training if you want to become a notary public. All you do is you pay your filing fee. In New Jersey, it's $30, and then you have to get sworn in at your county court. And the fee there is $15. And I'm actually going to be getting sworn in on Tuesday. And I will officially be a notary public here in New Jersey. I am still learning about, you know, how to notarize documentation. And I'm reading up on that. So before I even start working, I'm going to have the lowdown on how to do wills, how to do deeds, mortgages and loans and all that stuff, power of attorney. So I don't know if any of you are interested in becoming a notary public in your area, but just go online, look up your state requirements. You'll be shocked that most states don't even require that you have to go to school to become a notary public. So it might be something that you want to do on the side. There's a lot of people that are doing mobile, what's called mobile notary public, and your mobile notary public are making $100,000 a year, you know. So, I mean, it requires travel, but everywhere you travel to, you're going to make money, you know. And the good thing about a notary is you make money on the spot. It's not like you travel all around. You get paid by every client that you go see. So every day is payday if you're able to get yourself a job and keep yourself busy. Yeah, just make sure, because what happens, once you do your application and pay the fee, then a legislator in your state have to approve your application. Once they approve it, then all you need to do from that point on is get sworn in, and my notary public commission is good for 5 years. I don't have to worry about renewing for 5 years. So, you know, just find out if you're interested, just find out within your state what the application fee, and, you know, it didn't take long for me at all. I actually paid the fee 2 weeks ago, and I already got my certification in the mail. I just got to get sworn in. That's all I have to do. So I'm going to hopefully get that done on Tuesday. So, you know, if you are interested, you don't need any prior schooling, but you should learn. You know, one thing, you know, because I am part of a Kindle, I have a Samsung tablet, and I have membership as, you know, in Amazon Kindle. So I can literally get books for free. So I just downloaded a book on Notary Public, and it has like all the different sample documents and how to notarize it. So I'm actually reading through that right now. And once I'm read through it and I feel comfortable, then I'm going to start doing it, at least locally. I will start out locally before I start going around from place to place doing it. You have an air mattress. You know what? After looking at the way those brothers were using those air mattresses, that's not a half bad idea, SMAC. That's not a half bad idea to have one. I used to have one back in the day, but I think it got a hole in it and I just threw it out, but I never replaced it. I never did get a replacement for it, but those air mattresses are really cheap. You don't have to have the most extravagant one at all. And you just blow that baby up and they apparently do float. Yeah, the pool toys, you're right, because that all floats. You know, even like a, you know, even something like a life jacket, you know, because that also helps your body float. You know, if you can get like a life jacket, if nothing else, you know, that would be good. Yeah, baby pool. I saw a black guy use one with, he had a couple of children in it, and he was, you know, and he was moving it through the water, and, you know, and they were floating. That's why I said our people are so resilient. We just know what to do. We don't have nothing. We'll figure out, grab something in the house that'll work, you know. That's just us. All right, y'all. So this is good. I'm so glad you all came, and I really appreciate you spending time and us just chopping it up for a little while. I do have a credit repair that I got to work on tonight, so I can get it out in the mail tomorrow. So I'm going to be doing that for the rest of my evening. And then tomorrow I'll just get back on my videos. You know, but if Irma comes up the coast, we'll just do a live stream and keep an eye on it, you know, and we just do what we have to do. If it hits the islands, I would say probably anywhere from 3 to 5 days, it'll probably be up to the coast of the US. You know, and of course it depends on how many miles per hour it's moving, but we just keep a watch on it. And just make sure you have non-perishable food, anything that does not have to be cooked, but it's edible and it won't go bad. That's what you have to stock up on. And even I'm going to probably hit the supermarket sometime this week just to get a few things just in case we are impacted by Irma. Thank you too, Sherry65. You know, I don't mind giving my time to my people. I don't mind that at all. You know, I wish I would have done more of it in my life. You know, you live, you learn. You know, I could have devoted a lot more time with my life, but I guess the Most High gave me this moment to do it. But thank you again, family. You know I love you, and everybody stay safe. And like I said, if I get any word that Irma is coming up the coast, I'll just do a live stream and we can chop it up and figure out what we're going to do for ourselves and our family just in case we have a major outage from this storm. So you all take care, and I'll be back tomorrow with my videos. Peace, family.